ムロサンゼルス特派員のオーディオエンジニアサラです。今回はこちら年に一度アナハイムで行われている超巨大な音楽機材祭 NAMM2022 のレポートを行っていきたいと思います。I'm here at the booth with Singular Sound. David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Were you guys here last time?
We were, and we've been here ever since 2014. That was our first NAMM.
Oh wow. So how was this like during COVID? Did you guys had a hard time for business?
It was actually our best business year ever because everyone was stuck at home and they weren't able to spend money on anything except for gear and other stuff. And our products in particular are very good for musicians who are playing by themselves, whether they're doing a solo show or whether they're just jamming at home. Our products excel at that. So the Beat Buddy is like your own personal drummer. When you can't get together with your drummer because you're locked down or there's rules that you can't go to the studio, the Beat Buddy is perfect for that. The Eros is great for your backup band. So if you can't play with your bassist friend or your other rhythm guitarist, you could lay down that track yourself and you have something to jam over. Our products are particularly designed exactly, they're perfect for COVID and for quarantine. Our brand philosophy is to make it easy for musicians to do more. If you wanted to have like a drum accompaniment, you would need to have like a tabletop drum machine, which is more designed for composing beats, not really designed for performance. So it's a complicated machine, it's not hands-free. The Beat Buddy is a simple pedal, it's easy to use, but it could do a lot. Depending on how you tap it, if you hold it down, if you tap it twice, it has the external foot switch that does more functions. So we made it easier to do all the things that musicians wanted to do. And the same thing with the Eros Loop Studio. Loopers have been around for a while, but nobody had made a looper with a screen where you could actually see the recordings of the sounds that you're recording. And that makes it much easier to be a looper artist because you see where you are in the loop. You could see if you're in the beginning of the loop or at the end of the loop. I came up with the idea for the Eros because I was using a looper and I laid down a 4-chord progression and I repeated the same chords like 4 times.
Right.
And then I got lost. I didn't know if I was on the second repetition or on the 4th, and I wasn't sure where the loop was going to end. So I was like, it would be great if I could see it. Just like you record in your studio, on your DAW, exactly. I need a DAW in a pedal that's hands-free. And so it goes with our philosophy of being able to do more with less effort.
Yeah, I saw that. The screen, it shows the 6 channels, right?
So you have 6 independent tracks.
Okay.
Each track could be its own independent length. So you could have one track that's really short, one track that's really long. But each track you could have unlimited overdub layers on top. So you could have unlimited harmonies on that track. And you also have 6 different sections of the song. So you could have like a verse, a chorus, a bridge, and each of those sections can have 6 independent tracks.
And you can control all those with your foot?
With your foot, exactly. Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. So, your website, it says DAW on the floor, right?
Yeah, a DAW and a pedal.
On the pedal, I thought that's very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, the screen shows the click, right? Like
exactly. You see the divisions, the BPM. Yeah, exactly. You see the tempo divisions and where the end of the bar is. Another thing that our looper does that we trigger commands at the end of the measure. So, most loopers you have to do it on the beat. So that means you have to be very exact. You have to go right now, And so if you miss it even a little bit, then it all goes off time. So with our looper, with the Eros, you can do it any time in the measure and it'll do that command like start recording, stop recording, change parts at the end of the measure. So you don't have to do it exactly on time. It makes it much easier to do all those functions. Nobody had made a drum machine for a guitarist to use.
Exactly.
Guitarists don't care so much about composing beats, they just want a beat to be ready to play, right? They want to have choices of beats to play, but they don't want to make it themselves because a guitarist is not a drummer. Most guitarists aren't drummers, right? Some are. I don't play drums. I'm terrible at drums. I can't make a beat. I wanted something that would to have a beat to play along to, but I didn't want a beat that would just do the same thing over and over and over again. I didn't want a backing track. I could download a drum beat from online and just play it on my phone and play along to it, but that means I have no control of the beat. So, if I want to have like a jam section go for a little bit longer or to cut something off a little shorter, there was no ability. You're stuck with the backing track. You have to play exactly as that backing track plays, and you can't change it. It doesn't matter what the crowd is feeling a solo. They want you to like do that solo longer. You can't do it. I wanted to have live control of a beat, just like you have with the drummer. If you're playing with the drummer, you could be like, hey, do that again, and he'll do it again, or you can go harder or softer, you can have all those.
Beat buddy.
Exactly. It's your buddy that plays the beat. So we have software that comes with the Beat Buddy that goes on your PC or your Mac desktop, and you could create your own beats and put it in the Beat Buddy using sound samples and arrange. You say this sound sample is the kick drum, this sound sample is the snare, and you could arrange it in the Beat Buddy Manager software to create your own sound. So right out of the box, the Beat Buddy comes with 10 drum sets and 200 songs, we call them, right? Which is, they're just beats, they're not music other than the beat, but they come with a verse beat, a chorus beat, the fills, the transitions, so all in one package. So you have everything from funk to pop to heavy metal to jazz, pretty much everything you could want. You could also download additional styles, additional beats, and additional drum sets as well. We sell additional premium made stuff by premium artists that you could buy from our site and put it in your Beat Buddy. We have a very active user forum where on our website that Beat Buddy users and ra'z users go on our website. They'll create beats and drum sets and they upload them to the forum, and then anyone could download it for free and they could put it in their Beat Buddy. So they've created a lot of very interesting things.
I love that.
Yeah.
And just collaborate.
Exactly. So you don't even need to go to the effort to create your own drum set or your own beats. You have thousands of additional pieces of content that other users have made, and it's all free for download. The quality there is a little variable, Some of it's really good, professional level. Some of it's not so good, but it's free.
Is it easy to use?
So we designed it specifically to be easy to use because I'm a musician, and I'll be the first one to say I'm not a great musician. I'm an okay musician. I'm more of a singer than a guitar player.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I'm playing, I want to focus on my singing. Don't want to even think about my guitar playing. I definitely don't want to think about the pedals I'm pressing. I want to have as little to do as possible so I can focus on my voice. We developed a system that it doesn't matter where in the measure you tap it, it comes in at the right time, it ends at the right time, so you don't have to concentrate on being exactly like that. Sometimes when you're singing, the difficult part of the singing could be between the measures when you're going to need to press that pedal, and you can't do the two things at once. So it's much easier to have that entire measure before that part to press the pedal, and then you can concentrate on your voice while the pedal does it automatically.
ra'z is very unique, and I think it can be used for many different situations.
Yes.
But how do you like to use it? Like, what's the best application?
You mean me personally?
Yeah.
Everybody is different, and everybody has different equipment that they use, and different styles of music they play, and different instruments they use. I think that you get the most out of it when you're using it with the Beat Buddy, because the Beat Buddy provides the timing, right? It's much easier to loop when you're playing to a beat, and nobody really likes to play with the metronome because it doesn't sound very good. Now the ra'z does have an option that you could separate the metronome from the output of the main music, so you can have the metronome only coming out of the aux jack on the side, and so it doesn't get plugged into the PA, so the audience doesn't hear it, but you could just put it into your headphones or into like a little monitor that's pointed
like
at you.
PA.
Exactly. But I like the Beat Buddy because it gives you great sounding drums and it keeps you in time, and also you can control both at the same time because you could connect the Beat Buddy with the ra'z through MIDI. When you change parts on the Beat Buddy, for example, you go from verse to chorus, it'll change it on the ra'z too. So you don't need to press on both things at the same time. One will change the other. When you have them synced up, the Beat Buddy and the ra'z, it gives you a full one-man band capability. You could throw in a fill anytime you want. You could transition anytime you want. You could pause it, unpause it. You could do cymbal crashes anytime. So you have a much more live drummer feel. The ra'z has Wi-Fi. You just connect it to your Wi-Fi network, and every time there's a new update, you'll get a notification just like on your phone. And every 1 to 2 months we put out a new update. Recently we had an update so that when you mute a track, you can have it fade out instead of a hard mute. And when you unmute it, it can fade in, which is really cool if you're doing like atmospheric, like soundscape type of things. Another feature we just added was the ability to reverse the playback, so you can have your like one track play backwards, while the other ones are playing forwards. It's a really cool effect. We are currently working on a new system that's going to come out in the next month or two with the arrows that gives you a lot more capabilities to do hands-free all in the device without any external device. So you're pretty much going to hold down one of the buttons, and then it gives you a menu of things you can do that you can choose with the scroll wheel. So like in reverse will be one of them. So you can scroll down to reverse and you press a button and it'll reverse your track.
It sounds like the keyboard, DAW, everything in one.
Everything in one. It does everything for you. Exactly. It'll even make you coffee in the morning. The MIDI Maestro has 6 buttons on it. Each button has a little screen above it that gives you what the command of that button is. The Maestro has an app, and you can edit all the functions on the Maestro with the app. Some buttons control the arrows, some buttons control the Beat Buddy, other buttons control other products, because the Maestro works with any MIDI-compatible device. It's a universal MIDI foot controller. Most other MIDI foot controllers, either they don't have the screens on the buttons, so they're very limited in what you can do. Like you'll have to put a piece of tape and write the thing.
I've seen those.
Exactly. Yes. And then you only have one function for one button. That's why they make those foot controllers huge. They're like that big with many buttons. So we have a much smaller product, but you can get a lot more functionality out of that because the functions of the buttons can change so that you could edit it for your own specific equipment, for your own style of playing. So it's much easier to customize it for your own setup. Konnichiwa, people of Japan. I am David Packows, the CEO of Singular Sound. We make the Beat Buddy pedal, the Arrow Sloop Studio. You are a musician who wants to be able to do more with your music, play live shows, have more fun playing at home, playing with your friends, then check out our products. They will greatly improve your musical life and bring you great joy. Thank you for checking out our products.